have a lot more bodies here that are interested in the program. So what is it that draw you here? What would it be that draws you here? Well, there is one common denominator, and that is all of you are required to be here because you want to get confirmed. So that's for everyone. Everyone's required to be here. Secondly, we all have that one thing in our lives that's missing. We all have that one thing in our hearts, or a hole in our hearts that needs to be filled. We all have that one thought that we can never complete. We all have that one idea that we can never accomplish. And what is that? What is this concept of being confirmed? What is this concept of being holy? I mean, we're just teenagers, right? We're just 16, 14, 15 years old. We don't need to be holy. We're living our lives. We're living our lives the way we want to live. We want to go out to parties, we go out to parties. We want to go out to a football game, we go to a football game. We want to play football, we play football. We want to live the way that we want to live and a life that is fun for us. But what is this one thing that is missing in our lives? What is this one thing that we just cannot get a hold of? What is this one thing that we're striving for? And I'm not saying that you're all going to figure out this year. I'm not going to say that you're all going to figure it out next year. But what I am saying is that there is one person that wants a relationship with you, and it's not the people that you know on this earth. It's the person of Jesus Christ. Some of you may have never thought of having a relationship with someone that you can't see. Who's this guy that I can't see? Who's this guy that's up in the sky and beyond the clouds? Who's this guy that, apparently loves me even though I mess up all the time? That's just the beginning. Just the beginning of a journey of love, to experience who Jesus is and why you are here. Who is the person of Jesus? What is this sacrament of confirmation all about? Why am I here today? Why do I feel confused all the time? Why do I get bored at Mass? Why do I not feel fulfilled after Mass? What is the concept of prayer? It's something that we can all long for. It is something that we can all obtain. The most important thing is that you have the courage to step forward starting today. If you haven't put one step forward, this is the time that you do it on your own. Confirmation is not graduation. The rumor is false. It is a rumor, okay? You have to take this journey on your own. We are here to guide you. But ultimately, when it comes time for you to get confirmed, when it's time for you to walk up to the bishop and say, are you ready to be confirmed? Are you ready to be an adult in the Catholic faith? I'm not going to be there. I'll be sitting in the pews supporting you, but I will not be there saying, yes, he or she is ready. It's up to you. So we start this journey today. We start this journey now. Respecting each other, having an open attitude, and making sure that we're open to whatever we have in store for each and every week. Dear young people, the church expects great things of you and your generosity. Do not be afraid to aim high. Do not be afraid to aim high. See, it's funny. We all have, video games, we all have sports, we all have these games that we play, these hobbies that we do, and we want to become the best at each and every single hobby that we do, right? Whether it's we play the drums to the best of our ability, whether it's we play the position on the football field to the best of our ability, whether it's we behave to our parents to the best of our ability, we all have these things that we want to be really, really good at. But why is it so hard? Why is it such a challenge? Why is it such a challenge to be a person in this world today? The Pope encourages you to aim high and to be not afraid. Some of you may be scared. Some of you may not know anyone here today. Some of you may not know what confirmation is, or what prayer is, or what happens in the Mass. Be not afraid. Aim high, and when it gets harder, aim higher. When it gets tougher, make it tougher. When I came here back in May, I came here, I dropped everything, left my family, left my parents, left my brothers and sisters, my sister, and I was all alone. I didn't know anyone. You know, I came from a background when I was in middle school that I was made fun of constantly. I was called names. I was bullied. I was pushed around in the locker room. And I was in the same position you are here today. That this whole Jesus thing doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I have better things to do. I have more important things to do in my life. This whole Jesus thing, this whole church thing, back burner. Doesn't matter. I have football games to watch. I have people to meet on Friday night. Doesn't matter. I became so individual. I became so narrow-minded that I became afraid of being human. I wasn't human anymore. It was just a simple machine, just continuous routine. Not asking for help, not asking for guidance, having no idea what prayer is. And then I finally got a wake-up call, and that wake-up call wasn't just an ordinary wake-up call. It was me falling asleep behind the wheel and crashing my car head-on into a tree. Windshield shattered, both airbags deployed, and I came out of the car with a bruise across my chest, scrapes on my knee, but alive. The paramedic came up to me in the ambulance and he said, "You know, you're very lucky today. You're very lucky that you are alive today." See, I was coming up a hill and my car went over a sidewalk and down into an embankment. And the front hood was wedged in between the ground and a tree. The back two wheels were up in the air. He asked me, "Do you want anything from your car?" Like, sure, let me go look. So I went over the car, and the only thing that I could physically obtain from the car without getting in it was a crucifix hanging from my rearview mirror. And at that point, I knew that I couldn't do it on my own. I knew that there was something more important in this life than the sports, than what people thought of me, than what I wore to class every day, than what I wore to school every day. I knew that I couldn't do it on my own, and I knew that it didn't matter what other people said. In the end, it matters what decision you make. Are you going to be the chosen one, like it said in the gospel today, that goes through the gates to get to the kingdom of God? Are you going to take that journey and overcome the obstacles and overcome the distractions to get to the kingdom of God? Am I saying it's going to be easy? No. Am I saying there's going to be challenges? Yes. Am I saying there's going to be times where you just don't want to come here? Yes. Believe me, I have the same thing. Sometimes I don't want to be here on a Sunday. Sometimes I'm too tired. Sometimes I don't feel well. Sometimes I want to watch the football game on the TV. It's part of being human, and it's part of experiencing the journey. I will tell you this, and I promise this with every part of my being, that I will be here fully and present fully to all of you if you can do the same for me. I just ask you to just show up. I ask you to be willing to listen, to be willing to engage with others, to be willing to listen to the peers and what they have to say. Each and every one of those peer leaders has a story to tell. They have a life that they've lived. They've been on the journey, and they can still experience, they still are on the journey. They still have those struggles. They still have those challenges, but they've gotten to the sacrament of confirmation. They've gotten to that point where they can relate with you. They're not some entity separate from me. We're all one working together. We're a community of faith working together. So I ask you, be willing to be open, ask questions, argue, ask tough questions. I may not have the answers, but I can definitely find them out, okay? So just aim high. The journey to holiness is not easy, but it is definitely rewarding. Our mission statement: through prayer, sacraments, fellowship, and service, our St. Paschal Beilan Youth Outreach Program intends to actively bring young adults, youth, and their families to a unique, dynamic experience of the Catholic faith. So, what does unique and dynamic mean? What the heck am I talking about? Unique and dynamic? It may not seem that way right now, but the sacrament of confirmation is unique and dynamic. The Catholic faith is unique and dynamic. Whether you believe it or not, it's like a roller coaster ride. You have to be willing to sit down and buckle up, or you're gonna fall off the train. You're gonna fall off the ride. So starting now, you gotta sit down, get ready for the ride, get ready for the journey, and see where it takes you. See where you end up. So for some of you, you may be very surprised. For some of you, never know. You might find where you're going in life. You might find what you're going to be doing in life. Get ready for the ride. Be prepared for the journey. Be prepared for what this year has to bring to you. Pope Francis said this: we need saints that drink Coca-Cola, that eat hot dogs, that surf the internet, that listen to their iPods. We need saints that love the Eucharist, that are not afraid of sports, movies, or theater. We need saints who are in this world and know how to enjoy the best in this world without being callous or mundane. The simple and bottom line is, we need saints. And each and every one of you here today has a saint inside of you. And your job is to discover who that saint is. Who is that saint that I am called to be? What is that saint supposed to do? Each and every one of you, no matter how cool you think you might be, no matter how pretty or how handsome you think you might be, or you're the best person on the sports team, or you're the best cheerleader on the cheerleading squad, or whatever it is, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, you have a saint inside of you. And it's your job to discover who that saint is. It's your job to discover, what is that saint all about? Who is that saint? What does that saint look like? And who does that saint sound like? Who is it that I'm striving to be as a person? Who is it that I'm striving to be and to show other people who I am? Am I showing other people the real person that God created me to be? Am I showing other people the real, actual human person that, or am I putting on a fake mask, a fake facade, just so other people can be impressed? Holiness is not about being fake. Holiness is about being raw. Holiness is about being passionate for the things that you love. Holiness is about being purposeful in the things that you do. Holiness is hard. Holiness is rewarding. All of us are called called to holiness. Whether you surf the internet, whether you drink Coke or Pepsi, whether you like football or soccer, whether you root for the Eagles or you root for some other football team. All of us are called to holiness. It's just how we get there, what we do, and how we treat other people.
We're all on a journey through life. We're all moving somewhere, and time is taking us there. Where are we going? How does the journey end?
What is it that our hearts really, really long for to be happy? So Jesus not only redeems us, he also reveals God's identity. He reveals your identity. God's only getting started.
So we're not talking about a fairy tale here. We're talking about the real man named Jesus.
The succession of popes in the Catholic Church goes back 2,000 years, all the way back to Peter himself.
And beginning today, let the power of the sacraments inflame your lives.
When you look at these gifts as a whole, you should be very encouraged because they're yours. Take them, unpack them in your life, and change the world. That God is with you, is suffering with you, right here in your life, in your heart. All the pleasures of the world, nothing will satisfy you as much as authentic human sacrificial love.
Every one of the kids in your school, every one of the friends that you have, every person that you meet is looking for the same God that you are.
We need to take it a step further. We need to let the grace flow through us so we can bring Christ to others.
See, this journey of faith doesn't just teach us who God is. It shows us who we are. You are sent by God to share his love and life with all the world.